Uh, uh. Ah. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's me, Leon. If you don't know me, it's been 2 years since my last appearance on this channel. Yeah, it's been a while, but I finally got the stream key from Liso after a while, but hey, I'm here now. Today's my day. She can't stop me. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy our short time together today. So let's have a good one. Yeah. Ethan, hello. Thanks for popping in. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Nice meeting you. Today we're in a little cafe. Just in a little cafe, just vibing out. But yeah, it's been a while. I hope you're doing alright. It's been a while since I've been on the channel. Last year I didn't get the chance because Lisa ran away to another place and had no and I didn't really have the access to her device to jump in. But I'm here today and I managed to snatch the device to a cafe that I like to frequent every now and then. So I got you a little something. I wasn't sure if you actually like coffee. But yeah. It seems that
Why does it look like the stream's not working?
Anyway. Yeah, today I'm just hoping to do a little chat session with everyone, try and get to know everyone that I've never met before, try and get to know everyone and have everyone know who I am as well. So yeah. So I'm just gonna do short introductions. Hey, my name's Leon. I'm someone who just leeches off Liso's living expenses. And I like to go cafe hopping. I also like experimenting with different coffee drinks, etc. So if you guys like have coffees and cafes, I hope we'll be able to get to know each other very well. Yeah. Lisa's not here, stole her things. It'll probably take her a while to find it. I turned off her location tracking for this device, so yeah. It is what it is. I also managed to get onto her Twitter account for fun. Because I can. Yeah. I'm gonna take a quick swig of my drink. Real quick. In the time I've been gone, really I've just been checking out cafes. Yeah, I tend to post them to a private SNS that I have. Just keep it as a little archive for myself. I also try and do my own coffee art sometimes. So when they're not very successful, I rather just go to a cafe and try and learn from them instead. Yeah. I'm not a very good conversationalist otherwise. Kind of tragic sometimes because I tend to go to cafes alone and it doesn't really help me with my people skills, so I hope you guys can help improve my people skills while I'm here. Hello! Oh, Mio, thanks. Hi, thanks for popping in. I hope you enjoy your stay today. I believe this is our first time meeting. My name is Leon. I am someone who likes to steal Liso's device and managed to hack in to a little thing called streaming today. And I was hoping to be able to meet other people while I was here. So if that's alright with you. I hope we can get to know each other to some extent. But yeah. As I was saying, yeah, I wasn't too fantastic with people talking because I don't have a lot of people to go to cafes with, unfortunately. It's the biggest tragedy. Liso's too busy with her idol training and with other things to be able to go cafe hunting with me. I thought you had a cold since you sounded different. No, I'm a different person. Don't worry, I'm a different person. Lisa's not here. But I'm sure she'd be very grateful for your worry. I will let her know. I will let her know when I give her back her things. But yeah. Yeah. Liso's off doing her training. Her training's very rigorous, I would have to say. That's why she does a lot of training throughout the week. She has a lot of exercise regimes. She's also following a very strict time schedule. So the fact that she manages to make time to be able to interact with y'all, I really respect it as well. Whereas I'm just out here going out by my day. I visit her during her practices sometimes. I bring her coffee every now and then, but she tells me not to bring her coffee because she doesn't like the little caffeine pot. Which I find really weird because I think that's like the entire hype of coffee, really. The caffeine is what makes everyone good. Being an idol sounds tough, and indeed it is. Like just watching her from the side looks tough already. I can't imagine what she herself is going through being an idol. She's got things to prepare, lots of things in the background. One time I was with her choosing outfits, she dragged me. And we were just checking out like different colors for her next kind of outfit practice. But we managed to pick something out in the end. Forgot to ask about how you're doing. I'm doing fantastic, you know. Being able to finally get that time of the year where I can actually take away her device and try and see who's been watching her along, who's been following along her idol activities this entire time, especially since last year I couldn't do this. Being able to do it this year finally really is really a good what's the word? A good change, I would say. I got myself a coffee, a good drink right here, and since I assumed that we'd probably be talking for a while, I got you guys a drink as well. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys like coffee either, so I kind of went with a hot chocolate with a nice foam on top. It's a bit of a classic, but I hope you guys aren't too bad, are pretty alright when it comes to chocolate. There's some hit and misses. Fortunately, this place doesn't do marshmallows. I think it's actually a marshmallow foam on top. It's like a hot chocolate, they put a marshmallow foam on top. That's what I like about this place. It's very innovative when it comes to their drinks. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I just put it right in front of you, right there. But yeah, I don't think I'd be able to handle being an idol though, compared to Liso. Because all I really do is just go around the day. Thank you, love me some hot chocolate. That's good to hear, that's good to hear. Because we live in the same area. So right now it's still kind of warm, like even if I am wearing this turtleneck and this coat, cafes are pretty well air conditioned, so I do need like a decent amount of layering to feel comfortable. This one's also pretty good. But yeah, I think it's the cozy atmosphere of a cafe that really makes me very happy about it. But I think is the best part about cafes really sometimes the hominess. Sometimes you get a hit or miss with it's just about like the people you meet. I've had a bit of experience working in a cafe once because I wanted to know what it was like on the other side for a bit. It really started with me having the time to keep cafe hopping, and then I saw this one place that was hiring, so I joined as a front of house. So I served people the coffees, helped make some food. Eventually they managed to let me on as a barista, but I wasn't too good at it, so they kind of put me off to the side. But yeah, I think the joy really is about meeting the people. Unfortunately, I'm not working that job anymore. I think I prefer being the customer rather than the worker. For now, anyway, for now. One day, I hope to be able to have my own relaxing place for other people to join. Kind of like how Liso dreams to be on a big stage to reach to the hearts of other people. Whereas I'd rather be here on the ground in a cafe, reaching people's, learning people's stories as we drink the day away. Is working in a cafe relaxing, or is it only in the stories? I do think it does depend what sort of cafe you'd be working in. The cafe I worked in, unfortunately, was very busy. It was in a popular area, so we got a lot of people coming by. We got a lot of regulars as well. So usually for the cafe I worked in, the morning was filled with all the elderly all the seniors who were doing their morning walks. They would stop by for their morning coffee. Then around the afternoon, that's when the kids would finish. They wouldn't really come in for coffee, they'd come in for like those sodas. We had a few soda drinks, some fizzy drinks, and some smoothies available. And after that, we'd close like around 5 p.m. Yeah. Which was kind of a different part, because most cafes here, they close really early. They close around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, cafes are pretty alright when it's not too busy, I would have to say. That's my personal opinion. But otherwise, it's actually it's heart racing in a way. It's relaxing for the people who come in, not so much as the people working behind the counter, is what I would have to say. So I'd have to say that one kind of nightmare I would have to say from working at a cafe was sometimes most people are usually nice when they come in, but sometimes you get you get some iffy ones, especially when it comes to payments sometimes. So there was a time where this person comes in. I think you get this in any kind of hospitality or retail job when it comes to electronic payments. So the thing is, electronic payments, a lot of them come with surcharges. Some places don't, but my place did have a surcharge when it came to electronic payments. And when this person paid, they saw that the price that we told them was different from what they actually paid. I'm sure it's very frustrating for a lot of people, but for those who aren't aware, the surcharges on the payment is usually for the bank. It's not usually for the establishment themselves. But unfortunately, I guess this person didn't fully understand that, and they demanded a refund on it, but unfortunately we couldn't do that for them. So there was a whole out battle on that. So that was one issue. Another one was when it came to, it was actually a cup. So the thing with pouring hot drinks into ceramic cups all the time is that it will leave staining. It will leave sometimes some cracks, because that's what heat does to a ceramic cup. And this lady, she ordered some tea, and usually when we give our tea, we put it in a pot and we serve a cup separately from it. Now, in this teacup, it had the cracks and the stains of overusage from all the hot drinks it had been exposed to up until that point. So what this lady did, she called me over and decided to complain about the cup being dirty. I tried to explain to her it was from wear and tear, and she wasn't taking it, therefore I took the cup, gave it a quick rinse, nothing was coming off as I suspected, and therefore wiped it down, gave it back to her. She continued to complain that it was still dirty, and I could not find any stain or anything that was able to come off, so I tried to explain it to her. So I brought it back a second time and gave her a different cup. Albeit that cup also had a bit of wear and tear, and it had some of the staining, and she complained once again about the staining. So at that point, I told her, I'll just get you a completely new cup with no staining at all. How would you feel about that, ma'am? Because apparently she didn't think it was good enough. She decided, no, I don't want to change, I'll take this cup instead. But let me tell you, if I die, you will know why that is. And I never stood there so flabbergasted because of her. And that is a work experience that has stuck in my mind until now. Because how do you not understand that ceramic cups will be stained from brown colored drinks such as coffee and tea? That sounds really annoying. It was pretty annoying at that moment in time. And I love telling other people about this because they too will agree with me. But if you ever thought about working at a cafe, do not fully let that scare you. Usually the worst parts of a cafe is mostly the really unreasonable people. Metallic Fruit, thanks for popping in. I hope you enjoy your stay. Nice to meet you. But yeah, the cafe work wasn't too bad on a general consensus. There was a lot of different things going on, so you got to see the different types of food, the different types of drinks, you get to learn different types of smoothie drinks and stuff, etc. And learning to make them. Like, while some of the most annoying parts of working at a cafe was really just was some of the people, but I think some of the best parts of working at a cafe is also meeting the people. Hello there, I believe it's our first time meeting. I would love to get your number, but I lost my phone because today I've been quite a fool. My goodness, Red, what a charmer you are. Hello, thanks for popping in on our little chat. I hope you enjoy your stay. I got you all a hot chocolate to share right here because I wasn't too sure what you felt about coffee, and I felt like chocolate would have been a safer choice, but if chocolate wasn't your cup of tea, I do apologize. But yeah, for my number, if you ever need it, I'll pass it on to Liso the next time you ever meet her, and hopefully you'll have your phone by then, and maybe we can chat a bit more after that, yeah. I think a lot of people have been quite a fool today. It's a day where I think everyone's a bit clumsy. I'm gonna... yeah. It's funny because today I had 3 coffees, not a joke. Goodness, you must be quite the coffee enthusiast. I think we would get along quite well, actually. What type of coffees do you usually drink? Do you usually have it as a latte or as a long black? Is he blind? I'm not sure. Three coffees. I think 3 coffees is actually not too bad if you space it out throughout the day. I've known people who've had about 5 coffees. They drink coffee like it's water. It's quite a funny thing. I'm in a room full of coffeeholics. I think it'd be nice to introduce yourself to some coffee if you can. The taste of coffee is quite enticing, I would have to say. I wasn't the most fond of coffee when I was younger, but I do think it's something you grow into liking as well. Usually some sort of latte or cappuccino. I can't do bitter very well. That's quite understandable. That's very understandable. What I found was that a lot of people do like their coffees as lattes as well. You don't find a lot of people who manage to drink it black. I think that was one of my biggest shocks when I was first getting into coffee because again, like I mentioned before, I wasn't too fond of coffee at the first when I was a lot younger, so I avoided drinking coffee a lot. But when I started growing older and everyone around me was really into coffee, I started trying to get into coffee, and a lot of people recommended a flat white because they said it was mostly milk. So at that time, I thought coffee was something that, like, the different types of coffees. So that was like a cappuccino, a mocha, flat white, a long black. The reason why I thought a flat white was called a flat white was because it was like maybe 10% coffee and then 90% milk. That was what I thought it was. Coffee stream. I like iced coffee. Really? I think iced coffee is really good on a hot day if you like that caffeine. I think an iced coffee with an ice cream on top and whipped cream, it really makes it taste pretty alright. I think adding a syrup as well to add some sweetness to it as well does it pretty good. There aren't really any good cafes near me, so I don't drink coffee much. Condolences. That does suck. I hope you managed to find a good cafe, because really finding a coffee that you can drink pretty well does make the difference. That's what happened to me. I found a cafe and I tried its coffee, and it was really easy on the tongue. It wasn't very bitter at all. It might have just been the baristas who are really talented at making it, because there are some places that just burn their coffee beans and it really does affect the entire mouthfeel of it. There are some places that actually look into the bean types that they use, and they have different types. They have like the more sour, astringent kind of beans. They also have a more fruity kind of beans. Then there's your normal beans that's just used for everyday coffee. I find that really intriguing, like the different ways you can process the beans to taste differently. Yeah. But if you're really not good at coffee and you don't want anything too coffee tasting, if that makes sense, I feel like that kind of goes against everything. What I started out with was actually a mocha, because a mocha has the chocolate syrup that helps add the sweetness and balances out the coffee taste. So I feel like that's a good way to get into it if you want to try and get into coffee. Unfortunately, the general consensus is mochas are more expensive because they have the chocolate syrup added to it. So if you're willing to go that extra mile to get into coffee, I would suggest doing that. Other than that, I think trying to go for a latte would be pretty good, because surprisingly to me when I was younger, because it's a lot of milk, since latte essentially just means milk as well, it also helps dilute it, so that's a good one. A flat white is alright, I guess. I don't really have the fondest memories of flat whites. I haven't had a flat white in a long time, I will say, because especially when I first started getting into coffee, I was recommended trying a flat white because they said, oh, it was mostly milk. They were wrong. It was still heavily coffee. So it made the transition a lot harder, so I kind of avoided it. I usually get a mocha. Alex, hello, thanks for popping in. I hope you enjoy yourself today. Nice meeting you. I hope we'll get to know each other well today. And getting a mocha, that's pretty good. Like I mentioned, a good way. It's really good. I love the chocolate and coffee balance, especially like if you don't like coffee too much. It's really the perfect balance of sweet and coffee. Yeah. I mean, if you really don't like coffee at all, I think a lot of cafes, they end up serving matcha on the side as well. So that's like a good alternative if you like. That's something I've been trying to get into lately as well when I go to cafes. I've kind of like, usually you don't get too much difference for coffees unless like they have a significant difference in the beans they use. Excuse me. But yeah, so usually what I like to do is sometimes I will double visit a cafe. The first time I go, I'll try a coffee. Usually, I wouldn't go with a mocha because obviously that has a chocolate and it kind of gets in the taste of it. I usually try to get a cappuccino as an alternative because they have the chocolate powder on top. A cappuccino or a latte, yeah, it's a pretty good one. And then the second time I visit, I would try the matcha, or if they have available, a hojicha. I like the hojicha. I like hojicha a lot more than matcha. It's got the nice chocolatey notes to it, chocolatey, nutty, earthy kind of taste. So for those who've never tried hojicha, I highly recommend it. It's extremely tasty. I haven't found a way to enjoy it without sugar yet. I still add like a good sachet of sugar when I drink it. But otherwise, pretty good. All this talk about coffee is making me hungry. Speaking of coffee, a good pairing with coffee is usually a nice sweet snack. I usually like to get a... Usually I like to... If they have like a kitchen menu, I'll get like a big meal. But if I'd already had a meal, I'll just get like a cake. So there's this cafe I quite frequently like to go to. When they first started out, they only had desserts. They didn't have any... They did... Well, actually, no, they did have some... They did have some, what do you call it? They did have some savory foods. What was it? This was like 2 years ago. Oh yeah, They had some savory bagels. It was this really cute Korean cafe that was specialized in cakes, but they expanded their menu to have some Korean food as well. Hungry wasn't really the thought I had in mind, but now the thought of being hungry made me hungry. I guess everyone's a bit hungry now. Why don't we try and look for a nice snack, yeah? I'll try to find a good cake for you guys. Give me a second, yeah? Alright, I found some. I'm looking at a nice snack. Wow, that's quite a sentence. You've left me a bit flustered there, Red. Alright, I think I found something. I wasn't too sure what you guys would be really into, so I kind of got this big stand for you all to eat. Let me just move the coffee over for you. There we go. The coffee shop I used to go to, they had fresh baked croissants. It's really good when you can find a cafe that does its own baked pastries, because a lot of them, they actually get their pastries shipped from sent from the same bakery. So when you find a place that does their own pastries, that's when you know you found a winner. Especially if it tastes really good. By the way, do you have any tips about dieting? Honestly, I've done a few diets myself, because with all the cafe hopping I do, I can't really maintain a good health if I drink coffee constantly. That's what I learned the hard way. Or if I eat cakes constantly. I've seen Liso do some diets for her idol training, and she complains every now and then, and I tell her to just fight through it because she put this up to herself. But of course I sneak her some things every now and then. Do not take... This is just my experience. Please do not take this as professional advice. Everyone has different body techniques and stuff, but what I learned is there is no easy way when it comes to dieting. It depends what your goal is. If your main goal is weight loss, the best one that worked for me was moving around more and eating a bit and portion control. So as I mentioned before, when I went cafe hopping, I would order the big meals from the kitchen menu if they had a lot. And I would do this maybe twice a day, one time for breakfast and one time for lunch. But my mistake in doing that was after eating the meal, I would continue to sit down for an hour or two, doing my own projects on the side in the cafe, because that's what I like to do when I go cafe hopping. I like to kind of absorb the atmosphere while doing some work, because it's a good way to be productive in a sense. But I made the mistake of constantly sitting down after having a heavy meal, and that kind of that doesn't really sit too well for me. So what I learned is after I would have a meal, I would leave the cafe and go on a walk. So I kind of timed it as I would go into the cafe, just order a drink and maybe something light, like maybe a piece of toast. And then once I get really hungry, that's when I would order the kitchen stuff. And then after I finish eating the main meal, I would go and I would leave and walk to the next cafe that I would want to visit. Usually, if it's within half an hour, I think that's the best, because walking within half an hour gives it enough time to digest properly. But that's what it worked for me. Liso's done some other diets like choosing different types of meals and stuff. I'm not too sure the details, but she stopped because it's made her pretty sad. You can ask her more when she comes back or something. When I give her back her device, you can ask her about that. But all in all, everyone has different bodies. You'll find what works for you when it comes to dieting. If it comes to a point where you feel sad about it, just eat whatever you want, really. But yeah, I've had a few friends who've been bulking, so they would eat a lot of protein. So they prefer to build muscle instead of being concerned about the weight, for example. I'm sorry if this went about weight talk, and if that wasn't your intention. But since we just happened to come up the topic of dieting, that's what came to my mind. But yeah, what I found worked best for me was really portion control and just exercising regularly. It just helps out in the long run. But yeah, I hope you find something that works for you if it's something you're looking into. But remember that food's supposed to make you happy. There was a time where I think there was a time where I would frequent a cafe quite a lot. So there's a mini challenge I like to do is if I find myself wanting to visit a specific cafe a lot, I would try to taste the entire menu to see what I can recommend to others. So there was this cafe that had an extensive menu, and they also had limited things on their menu as well. So at first I would just go because they specialized in these limited cakes, and they had really they had really interesting flavors. So one of them was a sweet potato cake, which actually worked really well, and it was really tasty. So and it was limited, so I didn't want to miss out on it. So the next month they had a different flavor, which was like a Dubai pistachio cake, which was extremely delicious. And after a while, like, it just became very convenient to go to because it was quite nearby. And they did have a kitchen menu. So I started ordering everything off the kitchen menu. So sometimes when I meet up with my friends, and I would recommend this specific cafe, and just having tried the different things on the menu, at least I can recommend it to people. So that's what I did at my old cafe as well. During my lunch breaks, I would ask the chef to give me like a small version of whatever's on the kitchen, like on the kitchen menu. And then when people would ask me, at least I had the actual flavor profile of what it tasted. I'm an extremely terrible liar, so actually knowing what the food tastes like makes it a lot more helpful when it came to recommending stuff to people. Because at least I had my own tongue to say what it tasted like. Because I do not want people to have something that they possibly won't like. I'm gonna take a drink real quick, hold on. But yeah, that's about it. But I do, there was this cafe that was really gorgeous. It was really annoying to get to, unfortunately. It was this kind of rural cafe that was a bit out in the countryside. It was very cute, as like it was kind of placed in this cottage kind of building. Why is the owl there? Hoo 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 hoo. But yeah, it was out in this little village looking house, a cottage looking house, and it had a lot of flora around it. There was so many like vines, like it had this kind of rustic feel to it. And the inside, they really decorated it to it had this elegant kind of feel. A lot of things. But what they had on the menu, it was expensive, not gonna lie. Like, it took me an hour to get there, and they had this mango dessert. Let me see if I have a picture of it. Hoot hoot. Liso will come back, don't worry. He'll come back at some point. I know she misses you guys too. Let me see if I have the picture of the dessert. But yeah, basically it was this mango. I don't remember if it was limited or not, but it was this mango dessert that it's like a parfait. So on top was a huge pile of mango, and underneath it was like cereal, cream, etc. All different kinds of things. But that dessert cost so much. It was like $25 or something. It was kind of insane. But because I already made the effort to go out that far, I was like, you know what, I might as well get it. It was a really big portion because they used and they added I have no idea. It was like they had these edible pearls, but I feel like it was very counterintuitive. Like it made the parfait look really pretty, but it made it so difficult to eat purely because the candy pearls, they're really hard. They're extremely hard, and they're so difficult to bite. Sometimes I think I broke my tooth on it, but it really was gorgeous. it was kind of like a, now that I find it, it was kind of like a panna cotta kind of dessert. I have to go now. It was fun talking to you. Take care. Oh, no worries, Mio. Thanks for popping by, and I hope you have a good day. You take care of yourself, and hopefully I'll see you next time as well. It might be a while. But yeah, overall it was a pretty decent dessert. I can't find the picture, I think it was a bit way too long ago, but it was a good experience. It was a fantastic experience. Yeah. I wonder... Sort of tiring. You think the coffee would help keep me awake, but unfortunately not. Oh, there was another time where I went to a cafe for its shaved ice. It was really delicious, and I decided to do some work there. And the thing with shaved ice is it only lasts so long because obviously it's ice and it melts really quickly. So I ate that up really quickly, and I also ordered a drink. But the thing I was working on, I got invested so much that I kept sitting down there, and I think it took me like 5 hours for me to finish. Like, I was just sitting there constantly. I kept worrying that I might get kicked out because I think I'd been to another cafe with a friend of mine the day before, and up until that point I wasn't too aware because it was a really crowded cafe, the one I went with my friend. It specialized in fusion foods, so it was really good. And me and my friend, we were just talking, and we'd finished our food pretty early, but we kept talking because that's what happens when you go on coffee dates with people. You end up talking a lot and catching up. And the people came, and the staff came by and asked to take our plates away, and we we're like, yeah, you can take it away. And my friend turns around to look at me, and they proceed to tell me that, oh, that's the staff's way of telling us to leave. And I was so confused because I was still working at the cafe at that time. And when I was working at the cafe, we still had busy times, but whenever we took away people's plates, it was never really to have people leave. It was mostly because we just needed the plates to serve other people as well. So I was kind of baffled that that was actually a thing. And it really opened my eyes, but the cafe I was at when I was doing my work, it was really empty, so I just had that little bit of paranoia at the back of my mind. I did finish the work, it was pretty productive. And the staff were really nice about it. I ended up ordering another drink throughout the 5 hours because I felt really bad for taking up this space, but no one else really came in. Real, 3 coffees didn't help staying awake. Oh no. Maybe you should get extra shots in those. How many shots do you usually get when you drink your coffees? There's a time limit. Not necessarily, it's not usually outright spoken. Liso's been to a few cafes, and she told me about her cafe experience when she was in Japan. She would go to a few cafes, and particularly in like the afternoon, some cafes, like franchise cafes, they would give you, like, if you come in between certain time, they will give you a card that tells you that you're only allowed to stay for maybe an hour and a half, because they're trying to turn over the tables. There are a lot of people who come in and out because there are a lot of franchise cafes in Japan, is what she told me. And because these cafes, they have free Wi-Fi and a lot of plugs, they're very popular for doing work as well. So usually during certain times, it's usually around after students finish, and I think when some salary men, like some business people, finish, that's usually, so if I'm not wrong, she told me it was around like 3 until 6 p.m. That's when they would give her the slots. So yeah, you kind of, it was more of a trust system that you would leave, but they give you the card to say, yeah, you gotta leave by this time. because they get especially busy during then. And I looked at her in such disbelief, because if that were to happen here, I think it would just get rid of the half the fun of going to a cafe, really, because the best part of being a cafe is that it's really relaxing and calm, and nothing's too fast paced. You kind of can go at your own speed. So having that kind of time limit I think that kind of ruins the experience, yeah. Not really shots, I tend to get a whole cup full and leave with it. Wow. Wow. Do you usually make your coffee at home? Like, is it usually the potted stuff, or do you like grind the stuff yourself? Because I've had relatives who are really big coffee fanatics. I'm not to their extent. For me, it's not much about the coffee, it's more about the cafe ambience. They would have their own coffee grinders, and they would have like an entire setup just to make coffee. So they had like a mini version of a bean grinder, and then they would also have the tap that goes with it, and then I don't know, it was a lot of different tools for the just to make like a cup of coffee. Like, it was so funny because at the house they had like an entire setup, like with the coffee machine and everything, and I think one of them had like 3 different frothers as well for like latte art and stuff. But when they traveled, they had like a small mini bag just to go traveling. It kind of reminded me of Liso's microphone bag when she left to Japan. Like, when I saw her packing up, she had to pack her microphone away, and it came in this little bag. It looked really similar to my relatives. It was kind of funny just thinking about it. Everyone has their own mini bag of like their hobby things, which is kind of funny. Not that I'm saying that Liso's stream, like, because for her it's still technically work, but in the case of my relatives, it was like a hobby thing. It's kind of endearing, really, on how far people go for what they love. I hope one day I'll be able to travel and visit different cafes and see and experience different cafe cultures. I used to make it at home, but my coffee tastes like my attempts at making ice cream after dropping it on the floor. I'm sure if you work hard, it'd be alright. Ice cream's also a really difficult thing to make unless you have like the appropriate machine. Because I know a lot of people, they like to use the potted stuff just because it's easier to put through the machine. I have a cousin who just has the machine with the pods, because just having to deal with the beans is apparently a pain for her. Yeah. Taking a drink. Yeah, I tried to get Liso to put a coffee machine in her house, but she didn't let me because she couldn't find a purpose for her own, and because I'm out so often, she can't justify having me to bring one home because I wouldn't be in the house to use it either. And I made ice cream. I made a random scenario to say my coffee tastes bad. That's one way to compare it. No, that's fine. Maybe I'm having a lack of coffee as well. Things aren't really processing as well in my head either. Hold on. Let me move this. There we go. Yeah, you should go sleep. Yeah, maybe if it's a point where the caffeine isn't working, you should try something else. I'd seen some coffee machines that were super expensive. Yeah, so I can't fully blame Liso for not wanting to put the machine, because it's a huge investment really to get into, because you want it, the coffee machines that are just specifically for the pod stuff, and there are coffee machines for the beans. There are some that you have to buy the bean grinder separately, and there are some where actually don't come with the milk frother, the milk wand, where some do come with the milk wand. And again, that's all up to preference, but if you're not really fond of either of them, it's like you have to choose. If you want either of them, you have to kind of choose between, is it worth investing in or not. But yeah, it's a lot to get through, really. So so back when I was doing my cafe job, I really wanted to try and do the coffee stuff, but they never let me, and I quit before I was able to do the coffee training. So I was really into wanting to learn how to do latte art. So actually recently I gotten myself a milk wand. But I completely forgot about the fact I had no coffee. So I've kind of been attempting it with hot chocolate instead, because hot chocolate is extremely easy to get at the supermarket. And it's something you can still practice latte art with. And it's been pretty alright. I don't have any attempts to really show, because I don't have the steam, the milk wand for it, so you need to steam it to a certain texture, a certain temperature for it to have a really nice silky smooth texture to it, so that it'll turn out alright. But otherwise yeah, I've been having a hard time trying to get the texture just right, even though the milk milk frother I got had like a bunch of specific meshes to go through that changes the texture of the milk. But I'm still experimenting with it, yeah. It's maybe one time, once I get like a good one, I'll share it with y'all, if you guys would be interested. Yeah. But one thing that's decently accessible, I've been trying to do some matcha as well recently. I have the matcha chasem and everything, and I actually just bought a refill of matcha powder today. I've got some pretty good lattes out of it. Some decent ones. It's a good morning routine to get to, you know. You wake up, do your morning stuff, and then you make a matcha, take a quick swig, and there you go. You got your starting energy for the rest of the day. Pretty fun as well doing the mixing and stuff. Yeah. It's funny how like matcha's really getting popular recently as well. Everyone's like, yeah, there's the health benefits of matcha with this and that and this and that, and then there's like entire reviews of like different powders, and like the really popular ones are constantly sold out. So like even though I said it's a bit more accessible compared to like having the beans, because if you want to make coffee and like freshly ground and stuff, it's actually a bit more difficult unless you are ready to invest into that sort of thing. Matcha, the most expensive thing really is the actual powder itself, but it lasts pretty long as well. But watching like all the matcha reviews is kind of funny, really. It made me really picky when I first started out trying to choose what matcha would be good. You gotta add the sweets and stuff for it to taste alright. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Okay. But yeah. I think my time in this cafe is almost up. I had another cafe I wanted to schedule elsewhere, so I might head over there. I think you guys... Looks like you guys have finished your drinks as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it, the drinks and stuff. It was a really good coffee catch-up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have to return this to Liso before she comes hunting me down, hunting for her devices back. Yeah, I think I'll get that sorted for her. But as a favor to her, I think I kind of sneaked a peek at some of her work, and she's got like a schedule, I think. Hold on, let me see if I managed to save it in my phone. Alright, let me bring it out for you guys. I think they'll bring away the cups and stuff. Yeah, I think she would want me to show you guys this. It's basically her schedule for this week. I think she'll post it later when I give her back her things. God, you'll be missing out on me on that. So yeah, unfortunately she'll still be training for the next 2 days. But she'll come back to you guys on Friday. I heard that maybe tomorrow she might try and meet up with you guys. I think she'll probably try and end up meeting you guys because I took her device. She might be a bit worried about what's been happening while she was gone, but hopefully she doesn't mind with this. But yeah, she's gonna be doing some gaming on Friday, and then she'll be doing karaoke on Saturday, and then she'll continue drawing something on Sunday. So if you guys have a free weekend, I'm sure she'll be happy to see you guys then. But yeah, that was a picture of her on her birthday this year. I did not want to disappear, I chose the wrong one. But yeah, that's it from me today. I think I'll be off to my next stop. You don't have to chase after me. I hope you guys still enjoy your stay here. I paid for everything, so you guys should be fine. But yeah, it was nice meeting all of you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed today. And I hope you guys will continue to treat Liso well for the rest of her time. Keep supporting her journey, and yeah, that's all I really have to say. Alright, I'll see y'all the next time I have a chance to do this. Ah, Tanuki, hello. Nice meeting you. Unfortunately, I was just about to leave on my little journey for finding a next cafe, but yeah, sorry it was a short-lived meeting, but I hope even the few minutes we managed to meet each other would be a nice one for you. It was a comfy time, and that was great to hear, Alex. I'm glad to hear that. I hope you'll be able to still be here for Liso for the next time. Thank you for the stream. No, thank you for coming in, Red, and for all your lovely conversations. It was wonderful having a conversation with you all and getting to know you guys. But yeah, until the next cafe catch up, I hope you guys will continue to look after yourselves and look after Liso as well in the future. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care. I'll give back to Liso. Alright, I'm gonna take my leave. Leon, did you take my computer? It was a simple mistake. Leon, I told you not to take my shit! But hey, everyone had a fun time at the cafe. That does not matter! Come here!